It's December, it's cold outside, and I'm facing some beautiful blue skies. But what is that? What are these planes doing? Before you ask yourself that question, no, this video has absolutely nothing to do with chemtrails theories or such things. This video only deals with the consequences of hot exhaust gases caused by planes in higher and cooler parts of the atmosphere. I don't know whether my English is good enough to explain the upcoming things perfectly in a scientific way, so you can find a nice and trustful summarizing article about this topic in the video description. I've always wanted to make a video about this topic, and today's the day after a good friend of mine, who is an astrophotographer himself, much more gifted and talented than I am, sent me a video from his hometown, hundreds of kilometers from my home.
Ich glaube, ich habe noch nie so viele Flugzeugspuren auf einen Haufen gesehen. Das ist ja ekelhaft. Das ist unfassbar.
Then I decided to take a look, and I saw exactly the same thing outside. We are always shocked that people don't seem to notice how human actions harm our nature. In these moments you can't simply look away as if nothing happens. Most of you people who are interested in astronomy and astrophotography look up to the sky many times a day. And I'm sure most of you people who are interested in astronomy and astrophotography look up to the sky many times a day. And I'm sure most of you have already seen how severe condensation trails affect the sky. But what is happening there that is able to turn a clear blue sky into a white cloud layer within hours? At first, I'll tell you what happens above, and later on we're talking about the consequences for our lovely hobby. Condensation trails are icy clouds caused by human actions. If a turbine of a plane causes emissions in a height of 10 or 11 kilometers, it's releasing soot particles that are very hot and, of course, much hotter than the surrounding cool air in that height. So what happens is that cold ice particles surround the soot particles and small ice crystals form. This causes an expansion effect in the humid air conditions. If the air is really humid, that means more ice crystals form around the soot particles. This is the forming process of icy cirrus clouds. The more humid the air conditions are, the easier the clouds can expand. Huge cirrus clouds can start to form, and even a complete cloud layer can form that shouldn't be there. This is only the effect of the human wish to flight. But icy clouds, that doesn't sound so bad, right? But they have severe effects on the climate. Only a cloud-free sky is able to reflect the energy coming to the ground by the sunlight sufficiently. Cloud layers cause a greenhouse effect. So, more energy is stored in the atmosphere than it would be without those human-made cloud layers. Interdependencies with other cloud layers haven't been researched yet. My observation is that especially in hot periods in the summer, these cloud layers obscure the sky while no deeper cloud layers form. For example, rain clouds. But this is only an assumption that hasn't been proved yet. Clear is we definitely need more research about this topic. Unclear is we often talk about CO2 and CO2 equivalents, but cirrus clouds are only consisting of ice and a small amount of soot particles. Their substances aren't the problem itself. The energy storing effect on the climate is the problem. And scientists aren't even sure how big this damage is, but for them it seems to be clear that it has to have a huge effect, as you can see in the article in the description below. Apart from the climate changing effects, these human-made cloud layers suck. They are ruining beautiful clear skies. So we are always wishing each other clear skies, but most of the time we are only talking about light pollution, but discussions on this topic are hard to find. I live in a humid part of the world where I'm often affected by plane-caused cirrus layers. Sometimes you can still see through easily, but in other nights you can't. Often they are ruining my imaging sessions. These cloud layers are causing a bad light transmission and halos around the stars. Even longer exposures can't compensate the effects of these cloud layers. This is really bad, and the flight sector is still growing. This means our hobby is in danger once again. We are fighting against light pollution, the vast amount of upcoming satellites like the ones of Starlink, and now this is a really delicate enemy. People are really stupid. If we wouldn't ruin our beautiful sky in our home countries, less people would have to travel anywhere else to enjoy a more bluish sky. In times of corona, when there was less flight traffic, you could easily see that. I don't say stop flying, no. I only want to say look up and think about it. How great it would be to see a really blue and clear sky. It's a topic to talk about, and people have to realize that our actual flight technologies aren't good for us, as they are right now. Invent solar-powered zeppelins or something. But turbines in 11-kilometer height aren't a good idea at all. A last note, I'm often annoyed by parhelion images because they become of course more frequently and easier to take due to the higher amount of planes flying around. This is nothing special anymore, so are moon halos. They aren't beautiful, they only mean that a beautiful clear sky has been ruined. So my friends, clear skies, hopefully. Enjoy them as long as you can.